Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Secretary, it's good to see you and appreciate the work that you're leading and applaud many of the initiatives that you've described today and that you're carrying out. One thing you said today that I want to make a comment about, which is that looking in Central America to try and deal with some of the illegal immigration crisis that we're seeing at the border and attempting to deal with some of the root causes, as you described it, of illegal immigration, and some funding providing to the Central Americans to help deal with some of those root causes. I'm concerned that a lot of that funding is going to end up in corrupt hands. I'd also note that fighting crime and poverty there is quite a task, because we have crime and poverty here that we haven't been able to solve. How we're going to solve them in someone else's country is beyond me. And I also believe that the great majority of people who come here to illegally come here for better opportunity, which is part of our free enterprise system, as opposed to the socialism they're living under, and for freedom. And they're in autocracies. And so I would note that I think the best solutions to this crisis are completing the barrier, mandatory E-Verify. These are the kinds of things I think will make the difference. But let me note on another topic. I'm concerned about what I read about Mexico and about the number of assassinations that have occurred in Mexico leading up to their elections. And it read, and I don't have the sources of information that you have, obviously, but it read as if it was almost a failed state. We're not just talking about a few. We're talking about, I think the number was like over 80 people had been assassinated leading up to the elections. This is extraordinary. This is a country that is apparently being ridden with crime lords taking over the government. How bad is it, and is there effort that we can help support the government in trying to bring stability to that country?
Senator, I very much share your concern about that, about insecurity in general, this political violence as well in particular, and of course the violence being perpetrated by these drug gangs, transnational criminal organizations that are involved. One of the things that we've done is re-engaged with the Mexicans to restart and hopefully really re-energize the work that we've been doing together on security. So we have a high-level dialogue on security issues that is now restarting, as well as one on economic issues. And so I believe that we can be helpful to the Mexicans in getting a better grip on some of this violence. I acknowledge not easy at all, but necessary. And there too would welcome working with this committee on good ideas to try to advance that. But the bottom line is we're re-engaged with the Mexican government on security issues to see if we can be helpful.
Thank you. Another topic going across the world in Taiwan. I'm very concerned that what the Taiwanese are hearing from the Chinese is harming our interests there and the interests of freedom. According to the ambassador from Taiwan, she indicated that she received social media that said that Americans have so much vaccine that we're using it to provide vaccines for our animals, our pets, our dogs and our cats, and that the lives of Taiwanese is not worth as much as an American dog. Clearly, it's in our interest, in a very critical nation in the world, to see vaccinations that we have available going to Taiwan. I'm concerned if COVAX is the source of providing those vaccines, that COVAX will be, if you will, pressured by China, will not give the Taiwanese what they need. Are we giving directly the vaccinations that Taiwan needs? And can we make the number large enough? I understand it was announced at 750,000 doses. If that's a Pfizer or Moderna dose, that's half that number in terms of vaccinated people. They need something much closer to 2 million. Can we be more? I just hope that you'll bring extra attention to that issue.
Senator, in short, yes. We're making sure that vaccines do get to Taiwan. And just to be clear about what we're doing and how we're doing it, the President announced, as you know, that we would be pushing out between now and early July 80 million vaccine doses, to include a combination of AstraZeneca, but also Pfizer, Moderna, and we're doing some of that in coordination with COVAX, but even in coordination with COVAX, we can direct where the vaccines go, and some of it just directly. The first 25 million doses is what we describe the allocation for those to include doses for Taiwan. There are another 55 million to follow, again, between now and early July. And then beyond that, two things are very important. One is we'll continue after the 80 million to provide excess doses in the months ahead as we have them, because we will have them. Parenthetically, the 80 million doses, we will by a factor of 5 be the leading country in sharing vaccines with the world by a factor of 5. China's sold a lot to other countries, but in terms of actually giving them to other countries, by a factor of 5. But equally important, we are working very hard right now on significantly increasing production capabilities so that we can make sure that more vaccines are produced more quickly and that we can be the leader in vaccinating the world. And of course, as you know, that's also profoundly, it's not just the right thing to do, it's profoundly in our interest, because as long as this virus is replicating somewhere, it's going to be mutating, and if it's mutating, it could come back to bite us. So we have a strong incentive to get ahead of this, and I believe that with the work that we're doing, the President's doing on this, we will be the leader in making sure that the world's vaccinated, including Taiwan.
I have very little time, and so that means you have very little time for this answer, but I'm coming back from Europe and the meeting with the G7. To what extent are you comfortable with or have confidence in the reaction of our other G7 members to the threat that's posed by China?
I think, Senator, quickly, and I'm happy to go into more detail at another time, I think there's a rising appreciation for the challenges posed by China, including, for example, when it comes to technology and their various networks. We spent a lot of time talking about that, about resilient supply chains. That concern is rising across the board. Now, there are differences, among certain countries, but I think the work that the Senate is doing, including, I believe, this afternoon, is going to have a very meaningful impact, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.